We are all in an ongoing dream, and we shouldn't be here. I'm popping into your dream for a minute. If we don't connect and you don't understand me, and by connect, I mean emotionally, you don't feel me, you don't get me, then you won't remember this or me at all. Because you're in your dream, and you're only going to remember what is important to you. And it's an ongoing dream. If you think you're going to die, you're not. You're going to keep going into the same dream. Do you hear me? It doesn't end. And so what has happened is somebody popped into our world of love and light, and introduced bad words, the bad word. And our dreams will be manifested on and on and on and on until we get out of that word, the bad words. So I recommend, as a teacher and as somebody who's been through everything, that people put up as much color and light as they can muster up right now. Because right now people are wearing black and they feel dark. And their dream is getting darker and darker and darker. And so is mine. So is mine. But I was lifted out of it by my deceased son and beings of light. And I was given a story, and it's an incredible story. Too much, really. I went into PTSD. But now it's almost 8 years later, and I've been able to isolate and sort out my feelings. And it's important that I do it now, before I die. Because if I don't sort out who I am today and remember who I am today, I won't when I come back and I'm reborn into the same system, the same matrix. We have only got the influence in our dreams of the word and images that we're introduced to. And so we have to step out of that and remember who you are, not who I am, who you are. So I'm giving you tools on this channel to help you reach your higher self in your dream and to bring you reminders of what's important to you is not other people's stories, not television, and not your neighbor, and certainly not fear, because fear is what's going to carry with you, right? Don't carry fear. And don't introduce fear to others. And don't play games with others. And don't lie. You've got to keep your sense of decency, if you can, in your dream. You have to keep a sense of decency. if you're fantasizing about, boy on boy, or, man on kids, like, you're creating your hell. And I want to remind everybody that the media is hell. And they're full of shit. And all those volcanoes going off right now aren't. It's a combination of this administration needing to keep you in fear. And needing to keep you in fear to keep you in control. You're not controllable when you're not in fear. And you're not intelligent when you're judging your brothers and sisters. Because the media is telling you who the heroes are and who the zeros are. And you're just watching artificial intelligence fall apart right now. That's what's ending, is artificial intelligence. It's black and white. It's not in color in your dream. It's chaotic and it doesn't make any sense, right? When you have a dream at night when you go to sleep, your dreams don't make sense. Well, this life won't make sense when you die at all. When you are being controlled by fear, and when you are using your intelligence to step into other people's dreams or stories and think you know what they're going through or what they're talking about, when you don't even have a clue. You only know your story or what you were educated to know. And I'm going to share this video now. It may be a little, confusing because I'm talking about my spiritual guides, my dad, my Major Tom Quirk. I hope you can weed through any judgments and not give up, because maybe you will connect with me and see yourself. Not with your ego. No. The ego is the dream. But we are one Christ. You are Christ. I am Christ. And we're love and light. And if you don't need much sleep, or you don't need to eat much, it's because you're becoming enlightened. I can't sleep. I don't sleep. Eating is for my pleasure. Eating is to remember my senses so that I remember my dream and I can carry on in a dream in my next life. Only better. Because I'm manifesting out of nothing. White magic. I really am. I don't need for or want for anything, guys. And answers come to me. And I'm able to decode complicated systems that I couldn't articulate to you until you can decode them too. So if we connect, like you're into the codes, then you're going to remember me in your dream too. Because we're going to wake up, guys. We're going to wake up to a dream that we created individually. Or we're going to wake up to hell that we created individually. Only love is real. Remember that. And to remember love, Remember color. Remember your senses. Remember your parents. Remember your children. Remember the ones that you really feel a connection with, which I'm going to talk about now in this upcoming. I just wanted to come into my bathroom to show you how, color is everything for me. And I won't be dreaming in black and white anymore. And it won't be chaotic anymore. I have an organized, loving life, even though I'm isolated and alone. You don't have to be with anybody. In fact, you're not with anybody when you're dreaming. This is your dream. Make it great. And I'll keep giving you tools for tapping in to your own unconscious love and light. I'm here to help you reach your higher self. And by doing that, I am reaching mine. I hope you enjoy the video. Ever had an omelet with tempura battered chicken, spinach, tomato, onion, and cheese? Oh my gosh, it's a party. Joy to health when you can eat what you want and it's better than what you could ever get outside of home. That'll go nice with a tossed salad. Tempura battered homemade chicken omelet with cheese. Hey guys, check back to your camera and see what photos you take the most pictures of, unconsciously. What are you taking pictures of? I'm taking pictures of my food and my home. And the reason is because what we're taking pictures of is what we're afraid of losing the most. And I'm afraid of losing my human senses, being replaced by chemistry and things that just don't go well, taste well, and help me be well. So check your camera roll. If it's all pictures of you and your selfie, well then you're afraid of losing yourself, my friend. Yesterday I thought I had a very long conversation with an uncle of mine, Major Thomas Jameson Quirk. He was a RCMP major. I guess they had majors, official titles. I don't know. But he was, he was born around the early 1900s. And he was married to my Aunt June, who was very colorful. Oh my gosh. She was my most colorful aunt. And she ended up unaliving herself at the age of 70 after she got her early childhood education master's degree. You see, she was already a nurse, a registered nurse. She never worked, though. But she wanted to, after she retired, like, 65, you get cheap education, if not free. So she went and got her master's in early childhood education. She's the aunt that showed me I was beautiful. I had no idea, no clue. But when I was 16, she took me to the Pacific Center in Vancouver, British Columbia, to have a makeover and facial done. Holy shit. Like, I was a traumatized child, right? And I know that my Aunt June and Uncle Tom, we always called him Major Tom, were there to help me every time I saw them. And they'd invite me over to their house, beautiful house in West Vancouver. And then later an apartment in on West 4th. And he had a photo out of his mother all the time. And she was beautiful. He loved his mother a lot. And I remember talking to him about it. And because my mom didn't love me. And I really wanted to love my mother. But my mom had boils all over her face. It was hard to love her anyway, based on how she treated me. But guess what? Major Tom is also the uncle who taught me how to smoke tobacco. Yeah, it's a poison blocker. He was a living, and she was a living guide. And I think we all have them, and they're the surprising people. When I was just about to have Trevor, they showed up 3 days before and gave me a check for $50. It was in 1978. 5 is my whole number. Like, I'm at a 5 right now. I decode. This may be way over your head. You may think I'm nuts or whatever, but I'm here to decode because we're in a system from 1 to 9, a numerical system, and I've been decoding for several years now. But gematrix.org is where I go. Now, it's been messed with, right? It has been, I won't lie. So you may see a whole bunch of words in your gematria that just don't make any sense at all. Then I would skip on. But if they appear to talk to you, I would listen. So I also am informed that you only put the first 2 names, or the given names, not the family name. His last name was Quirk. Quirk. Thomas Jameson Quirk. Major. Retired when I knew him. In the RCMP. And he knew my father was always in and out of prison, too. So he was just, and whenever I'd go to their wonderful, they'd have these silver cigarette cases, everywhere on the coffee tables, just waiting for me to take. Just sitting there waiting. And I was a little teenager, a little rebel. But I thought, let's see what else I wanted to. I also got a letter from him, like all the time. No, not, but I saved one and I took a picture of it, but now I can't find it. It's weird, because he is not blood related to me. And for that matter, neither is June, his wife. How they came to be aunt and uncle is June was married to my biological uncle, who was a Benson. Benson. Names mean a lot if you want to know. A lot. Names and birthdays and numerology goes from 1 to 9. There are no zeros. I hope I'm not overwhelming you. Maybe save this video because it's very interesting when you get enlightened. Okay? It's interesting to check people out. And I'm just checking Thomas Jameson out. And when I put my dad's in, like you can go and see my dad's too if you want. It's Ivan Gilbert. Now he talks directly to me. Yes, it's me, daughter, blah, blah, blah. Like it can't be AI manipulating me. You see, AI cannot manipulate you when you have codes. And I have pre-codes that I recognize in the gematria. So when anybody types in Ivan Gilbert, you will see what the future of the world is. Okay? I mean, everybody should check out my dad's. He was born Easter Sunday, 1939. And times that by 2 is 1978. And my son, Trevor, was born May 27th, 1978. Pay attention to that birthday. Because it's all of them are important here for not just my family, but I'm a messenger. I'm a messenger that nobody gets. And they're distracted. They're distracted with television, social media, lovers, and fear. So I hope I bring people down a notch on that department, because we're not going to get anywhere sitting in fear or sitting in judgment either. So just sit still and keep your eyes open. And even in stunned silence, just observe what I'm trying to show you. Because I'm not just here to waste my breath. I'm here to show you how to survive what's coming. Okay? We can't get away with what we have been getting away with. And especially, the whole freaking world is possessed right now because of Hollywood. And they know that our imaginations are the manifester. Like if we water what we're watching and water it and water it, or watch it and watch it, or water it and water it like seeds. They're planting seeds, as Jesus talked about. They're planting seeds in your brain to harden your heart and to be afraid of your own self. Your hands, wash them, wash them. I mean, it's right there in the Old Testament. On the last page, what happened. I told you that. It's in the Old Testament, last page. What happened. But then Jesus was reborn, you know. We're all reincarnated. Look up the book of Thomas. Look up the book of Thomas. It's not in there. Because when King James came along, it was Mary and Jesus all over again. If you can't connect the dots or see common denominators, it's because you weren't looking. And you can't believe that a Jesus, a Messiah, would be possibly in a castle. And now he's being raised as a king. And he's going to change the Bible. And he got it done. In red. He got it done. He got it done. Now, you may say, well, but he was a pedophile and he was this. Yes, he was. He was influenced. He who is without sin throw the first stone, by the way. But, yeah, and then Mary. Well, the first Mary, I told you in the other video, got her head chopped off in Ephesus, Turkey. She wasn't in exile there. She was getting her head chopped off. They're head choppers, these people. And especially women. I mean, holy shit. There was a pool there, all right, for Mary. It was swimming in feminine heads. And it has been a hate on women since the Garden of Eden. You know, you put influences like God's punishing your mother out there, and you got sons who are afraid and think they're there to protect God. And so they begin to, you know, hate or beat their wives and keep them in line and have them serve them. Suddenly he's God, and he's the punisher. I don't know how that happened. It happened because of the hardened heart. And Jesus came along, and if you read the first page of Matthew, it's the first page of Matthew, you'll see what he's talking about, that hardened heart. And what are you going to do? You're going to keep washing your hands? You're going to pray in that direction, this direction? Be more concerned about your heart, everybody, than any ritual, any vow, anything, but a hardened heart, especially one against your mother. Now, if you utter a word against your children's mother, you see how bad we got? I mean, it's hideous out there. Everybody's harping about their children's mother. Baby mama, go have an abortion. Put it up for, it's not my, the kid is not my son, Michael Jackson. You know, look at us. Look. Face it. You better face it. We manifested what we watched. And what you don't know is that you've been influenced by men. Because most of those female actresses, that those graven images, those porn images, those are men in drag. starting with Marilyn Monroe. If it's got a boy name, it's a man. Or if it's affiliated with a man or a dick. TV can be manipulated, guys. You think it's real. And that's why your artificial intelligent world is going to crash all around you. Because you thought it was real. No, it's not. It's a delusion. And our imaginations were put there. And all we have to do is step back, right? And take a look as an observer. You don't have to think. You don't have to figure it all out. It's not up to you. That's what the guides keep telling me. I'm not in charge of logistics. I'm not in charge of what's going to happen. I am in charge of what happens to me and me alone. And what I'm doing right now, and you are doing right now, is we are creating a movie, our own. And you're in it, and you're the star of your movie. And I am the star of my movie. And we have extras, and we have contracts before we're born to play out. We are fun. I don't know if you remember this or not, but Jesus was a hoot. But then so was Elvis Presley, the king. Yeah. Elvis Presley had a twin brother, and that spirit went to the Star City, Saskatchewan area. I'm sure it was my father. When I was a child, I used to think of him as Elvis. I did. And there was a song, what was it called? Something about calling my daughter from Memphis, and my uncle wrote it on a wall. I mean, the whole song, when I was a little girl, talked to me. So maybe I'm just a crazy schizo. But, I prefer not to think like that. Because the thinking is the manifester. And if I think about demons and scary stuff like that, then that's what my mind will manifest. And, this is my dream, and you're doing your dream, right? So anyway, I have spiritual guides, and my father and my son, who died, Trevor was born in 1978, as I said, a year after Elvis died. Trevor wasn't at all musical. But we come in a thread of life. And Trevor had a son. Guess what his name is? If you're in touch with poetry at all. Remember the poem by Dylan Thomas in the 16th century? Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Well, that was a premonition. Because my grandson's name is Dylan Thomas. And he is here for the dying of the light. Because that's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry that, I've had to kind of pussyfoot around that, because I'm not here to scare anybody. But now people can see. But I am a firm believer in natural disasters. And where it has been hit, it has to hit. It should hit. And hopefully some egos get cracked. When my ego cracked, after another pedophile got my granddaughter. And he was my best friend. And I was in charge because my son was dead. But I was on those antidepressants and so on. And when you're on them, you can't see anything. You can't see, you can't feel. They're emotional inhibitors. And if you can't feel, then you can't have any intuition, period. You can't even guess. You don't think you're stoned, and you're not stoned on those drugs, but your emotions are gone. And that's why so many people go nuts and murder when they're on them, because they have no feelings. Or unalive themselves. They have no feelings when they're on those. You got to investigate what these drugs do, and is it good for you? So this is what's happened to women since World War II. Is she's pretty much lobotomized between the hormone drugs and the oh my God, there's everything for her. And the only reason I know all of this is because Beings of Light with Trevor came to me in 2016. And I believe in what I was seeing and hearing and feeling. And my story's not a debate, right? Like, you can't debate somebody's story. But these beings downloaded me and connected dots for me and helped me see common denominators. Now the next morning I didn't remember much. I remembered be prepared. And then I remembered Trevor was there. And that's why I put so much faith into it being a good thing and not of the government. Not of the government. You can't do that. You wouldn't be able to give me what my son gave me that night. Yeah, it was pure joy, laughter, relief, and a heart thing that I can't describe. So this cannot be me being mind controlled, which is, believe me, I checked into it. I've been a lifelong counselor, clinical hypnotherapist, life coach, I'm employment specialist. So I've been around. I'm the Forrest Gump, as Cheryl Ann Grosclose, But I'm a nobody, and I don't get a television program. But I would like to welcome my new subscribers. I think I just gained 100. Appreciate you being here. I think people are starting to really wake up and realize that the Christ everybody's been worshiping is all smothered by Abraham, and those books don't belong together. The King James blood is all that you need to look at. I could go on, but no, I'll just leave it. If it's in red, you can trust if you know what you're looking at. If you interpret it as he's your God and your Savior and not your teacher, then you get them all wrong. 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 And that's what I'm here to tell you. And between, my dad dying in 2007 on World Compassion Day, December 10th, and Trevor dying trapped in flames in 2003, June 28th. And then these spiritual dreams and visions I've had. Not to mention my life. My life. I'm telling you right now about another connection I'm telling you about here. Is yesterday I thought I was talking to Thomas Jameson Quirk, Major Tom Quirk. But I don't know. I feel like, and his number, I know his number. He's reset. He's he's top of the line here. It's a really good number. And so, what does it say? You'll find out. So it's like they're making me guess. So just take a look real quick at what they're. Now this is what makes me think it's my dad, because we have a story about my dad being in prison and something that happened there. This feels like my dad, right? Doesn't feel like I don't know what's going on here. Doesn't feel like Tom, Major Tom. I think my dad's trying to squeak through. Ivan Gilbert. Authentic SQC. Okay. I know what some of these mean. I can't get into with you. I know what this means. I can't get into it with you. I know what I'm supposed to do. That's my great-great-grandfather. Gross close. That's why I think it's my dad. Unless Major Tom is bigger than that. I never thought about that. Trump clocks. See, how is this under, look at this, North Korea too. So, I don't like to brag. I don't know what to think. It doesn't matter what my name is. It matters what I'm doing here, whether anybody believes me or not. And then the last one, you'll find out. Like the first one, keeping me guessing about this my Uncle Tom. Because this totally feels like my dad's. Super weird. I did go into my father's gematria, Ivan Gilbert, and I've never seen it where they've removed the Jewish, other than the total. They've removed the Jewish. They removed his message to me. I'm going to show you. You've never seen it set up like this. In the simple gematria, it's 119, which is 911 is my number. Okay, look. Is 973 decode cipher. Because it's not here. Look, it's not here. But it's here in the English and simple. Just real quick. If you want to slow it down, you can go ahead. It's good to know. Oh, who did this? Hebrew. Ah, you're still trying to get the message through. No Jewish. They removed it. So if you know anything about gematria, this is interesting, to say the least. And it can just be a fun tool as well. The more you get, curious, I guess, about your own story or your own dream, maybe this is for you and maybe it's not. It could be just for me, right? I could be just playing with myself here. But it doesn't matter. This is what I'm trying to tell anybody watching, because I am a teacher, is that you are creating your dream right now, and you can be in control. And you want to be in control of your emotions, but first you have to have them. And so practice getting to know your emotions again. Okay? Get out a picture of yourself when you were a child, right? Black and white or whatever, if you got color, I'm old. And put it on your fridge. Do something to remind you of your childhood as much as possible, because that's as close to Christ as you're going to get, ever. I promise. Oh, I can't wait. This is cannabis oil chocolate chip with coconut frosting on my donuts. Homemade donuts made with tender loving care and appreciation of my human senses. Time to get busy. Ever had an omelet with tempura battered chicken, spinach, tomato, onion, and cheese? Oh my gosh, it's a party. Joy to health. When you can eat what you want and it's better than what you could ever get outside of home. That'll go nice with a tossed salad. Tempura battered homemade chicken omelet with cheese.